Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194, and I appreciate you stopping by to check out my video. And I hope you stick with me to see what we can come up with this BMW here at Zandvoort. I had a few requests from Kellen and from or Keelan. I don't know how to pronounce that. I didn't even think about that. And then also from Rubber Stig and Joe Blow. And a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of people just kind of asked to see if we could work on the setup and see if we can improve upon it. Plus, if you remember from the video, the aggressive, it just cooks the left front tire. So let's go to setup. And what I did is just like I did before. I got it under experimental 1. That's how I usually do stuff that's not a set setup. And again, basically everything is exactly the same as aggressive. The only thing I change is the fuel at 45 liters and that I had in that race. This is the same setup that I used for the race, and the mechanical or the steering ratio I turned all the way down. Other than that, everything is exactly the same. Nothing has changed from the stock aggressive. And you can see, rear wing has got a lot. It's got 6. Hey, look at that. Look at the wheel rate. It's maxed on the rear. Wow. So see, that kind of wonders. I'm thinking that could be some of the issue with the power oversteer coming off the corners. Right there. It's not able to hook up, especially in the low gears. So some of the things I look at, of course, the front aero variation is negative 0.8. Everything else, again, not super extreme, but, 3.9 negative camber, negative 3.1 on the rear. I mean, not crazy, but, not way out there. That's actually not real bad, but, I mean, it's, a little aggressive. Like I said, we got negative 0.8. Let's see what it does when we put 10 liters of fuel on it, because it's only got 45 right now. Doesn't even change. Well, it goes down 1/10. 1/10 of a percent. So it goes from negative 0.8 to negative 0.7. So actually it goes up. Yeah, so it actually, when the fuel comes off, you get just a teeny bit more weight up on the front. So that's kind of a good thing. I kind of like that. The AMG does that also, which a teeny bit. I don't want something drastic either way, but I do kind of like that because it, as the tires wear, it helps the car rotate a little bit. So that's actually probably a better thing. I kind of like that, like I said. So let's just make a few laps here. Check our pressures. Let's get into this.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Did it a little bit different too from a suggestion. It's just me, so we don't have to deal with traffic and those kinds of things. I mean, this is how I usually do it like this a lot of times to get it roughed in, and then I'll get into a race situation to get the final fine-tuning, I guess you can call it. But it's a challenge to see if we can keep the performance or increase it, which wasn't a terrible lap time anyway. A high 136.9, but also cool that left front tire off so you don't have some drastic performance drop off. And also I wouldn't mind doing a run with a heavier load of fuel also, just to kind of see what it does. See if we can get us a few laps. Get these tires up to temperature. Actually, just so happens there's a race multiplayer tonight here at Zandvoort, so I gotta get ready for that too. I'll be doing a lot of laps at this place. Between this and I haven't decided what car I'm going to use, but I mean, again, you know, I can't. I got something that's good, so I gotta decide that today sometime as I'm taping this, recording it, I should say.
Got some light damage on the front of the car.
That wasn't no good. Let's see what happened. I think I hit the grass. I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's what it did. You see right there, it hit the grass. Right there. Yeah, that left rear tire hit it, and it just threw it. Yeah, I thought I might miss it or get on this curb here, but yeah. See, just inches. And of course, this torquey motor, I don't have the traction control turned up much either, so I don't know if that would have helped anyway. But so, okay, we got 37.28. So, which we know it ran a high 36. You got two different ways you can go. I mean, you can go with a higher downforce like it has now, or you can go with a lower downforce and see if it will, pick up time. We'll stay with what we got right now just to see how it goes. And this is more of a higher downforce because you already have it at 6. I mean, we already have it at 6 here, so I mean, you only can go one more. So to me, anything like that that's basically 80-90% maxed as far as the wing, I call that a high downforce. At least that's what I call it. And again, some of this stuff is how I do it. I'm not just like any kind of sports, whether it's golf, bowling, anything. There's multiple ways of doing it. So this is just how I do it. There's other good ways of doing it too, but and of course the BMW I haven't done a lot with, so together we'll try to see what the best way to go with it is. I love the car. It's all the way down on the front, so, and the ducts, I'm going to go up on ducts already up to 5 on the front. I'm going to change that right now because the front tire is always overheating on that left front. But you know, I'm going to do it opposite this time, because you know this actually here is pretty good. We can do some adjustments, but that's not where the problem lies. The problem lies in overheating the left front tire, and the problem lies with the car wanting to oversteer or slide, you know, under low gears and the tight turns. So that here really isn't going to solve a lot of those problems. So this time we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go from the other end. As far as this goes, looks like the tire pressures were a little high, so I'm going to go down a little bit, and these are actually low, so let's go I'm going to go up. Let's go up to 27. Let's leave these about where they're at. Let's go out again. I want to get these tires pretty equal. Also, wait a minute. Let's see what we were at. I'll just use the same tires here, because they only went a couple laps anyway. Start with the number 1 and work our way. So maybe we can get through a few laps this time, just a few. But I want to get the tires pretty close to being where they're supposed to be. Again, this is what I usually do anyway when I do starting with aggressive. Let's just get used to. Before doing this, I was driving the Lamborghini Huracan here, getting some laps, but I mean it's a totally different car. So just need to get used to this again for a second. Where it's at, so kind of on the large side, just like that. I want to make sure you got to use all the track, but you don't want to go like I just did over in the grass and wreck. So I'll try to go. I do things really fast, so everybody can follow along. Had a pretty decent race last night. Multiplayer was fun. It was at Zolder. So I had a good time with that. Ran my personal best. So, but again, still need to do better. Finished 4th place. Whoa, power oversteer. But yeah, I finished 4th place. Started 7th. Car, use the Porsche, but I definitely still need to gain a little bit more time with it. I mean, it's a good setup, which I put in the description. I put a link in the description on that video. Anybody that wants it. yeah, it's a good setup. I mean, this aggressive on this BMW is, you know, very good. Very good setup. I mean, I don't know what it would do in the long. Well, I do. I mean, I did. I mean, it was decent even on the longer stint. You know, 20 minutes. I mean, it's not really long, but you know, I don't know what it would do in like a multiplayer race where you're going for 45 minutes or an hour. So that I don't know. Yeah, the one tonight's got a pit stop, so that means, you know, you'll get tires. So you don't have to worry about the tires lasting the whole race. You just open up that brake duct, helped. It's just getting a little yellow now. Which I don't mind it being a little yellow. I just don't want the thing bright yellow. Of course, it cools the brakes off, but also cools the tire off too with the brake duct. So, you know, they do help. One more lap here. Whoa, a little deep. We're going to do one more lap because I want to try second gear in those places, those tight turns back there. Try third here. It's not too bad. I'm just gonna leave it first here. Every time I try to do second there, it just don't seem to work. Before we get started on doing all these adjustments on the car, I want to kind of get a, you know, consistent as far as the driving end of it. Bad. Yeah, picked up. Help with that power oversteer too.
The fastest lap so far.
36.99. And we ran at 36.92 before in the race. Tires look good. They're all within a couple tenths. So I'm real happy with that. Let's go back to the garage. And let's take a look at that last replay. See, it still looks like it's leaning the front. It looks like it's... Oh, see, it almost locked up the left rear there, so that hurt me a little bit. Or left rear, left front. But it looks like, sometimes it looks like the front end is flexing or leaning one way or the other. It's not staying flat. And you can see the one corner. Lift up like right there. You see how it's the one side's almost hitting the ground, the other side isn't. You know, because you got just all the forces pushing over. Looks really smooth through there. If I could get a little bit more corner speed through these two corners, if I could get a little bit more through there, it would be even better because you carry the momentum. It would really help. Just a little more corner speed. But like I said, this is a good setup. I mean, you know, running high 36s or into 37s with, you know, 45, 50 liters of fuel. I want to try it again, you know, with a heavier fuel load, kind of like when I do for racing, you know, like with a 90, probably have to have like 90 liters for a 45-minute race. So I like to see what the difference it does to the car then. So that look, you know, you can see the differences, see what the differences are. So again, let's go into the, you can see how it's wearing the inside here some already. I mean, this is 2.9s here. That's down to 2.7. So the left front is definitely the big wear tire. But I want to start on this end instead of the arrow because the car's balance is pretty decent. We will mess with it, but I think there's more to gain on the drivability and where you can push it harder. And not have the power oversteer or just carry more momentum through the corner. So our tire pressures are pretty good. And I'll try to go over this as detailed as I can. The toe is 0.1. Usually here I like to run more, but you know, again with this front tire issue, I think I'm going to take some out. So I'm going to run it almost like a high speed track. I'm going to take some of the, because that also adds heat to these the front tires, having more negative toe. So, and then on this, with the camber, we'll see how it affects the car. See, it's already got graining. Look at that. Graining on the right rear already. And I only did 3 or 4 laps. See, so that's, again, that's because of all that negative camber. So, I don't like that at all, especially for that little bit of time. Well, it might have been hit because it was spinning, some spinning some off the corners. I don't know. But let's try some, let's knock this down. It was 3.9. So let's take a pretty big chunk. Let's go down to 3.5. And let's go try to get more tire on the ground. And I always like to run a little bit more caster also. Helped with the stability part of it. And here, let's leave it the way it is at the toe on the rear because it don't seem like it's overheating the back. So let's just leave the toe where it's at. But again, this is definitely, we need to do adjustment. So let's go down to negative 2.5. So that's a huge adjustment down there. So let's try that, and let's go back out and see what it does. I don't want to change anything else. Oh, I know what I'm going to change. One other thing. I'm going to go down to the number 1 brake pads. So we're going to go to the number 1 pads, and all I did is, again, take some of the negative toe out, and that'll take some of the heat out of the tire. On the downside, it will hurt a little bit of the turn in. So the car won't turn in as quick, but it will hopefully will help the heat of the tires. taking some of the camber out, some of the negative camber, so we have more tire on the road. And of course the caster, which hopefully add a little bit of stability to it, not as twitchy or jumpy. And the same thing on the back here with the toe we just left alone. So let's just try that. Let's see if we can feel the difference. See if there's any kind of difference to the tires. Oh, wait a minute. Go back. I want to make sure I got another new set. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure we had another new set. I didn't want to go back on the same number ones anymore since we changed some stuff. See if we can make a few laps. So again, if you got a car that's having some, everything is, you tried the aggressive and it's really good. Times aren't that bad. But you're having maybe just a teeny bit of power oversteer, especially when the tires are cold. Getting some graining on the tires. You do a race or you do some practice with it and you see it's graining. Well, you're probably going to need to do like what we're doing here, and instead of adjusting the aero balance, you're going to need to go in the other side and start adjusting alignment. Why? Of course, the track here, we're going to go over the track too. I'm going to talk about that to you as we go here. So as far as like, we'll probably do some replays showing, help kind of a track guide also, just to kind of make sure, help anybody out that has any questions about that. Let's do that at the same time since we're looking, kind of kill two birds with one stone type of thing. This might be a little bit longer video than what we normally, but I'll try to make it as quick as we can, but just sometimes this stuff takes a little while. So I hope you all stick with me. I'm going to do a better lap this time. Remember, that's why I run ABS. I might have to go up a little bit on that because I don't want to flat spot the left front at that turn right there. I mean, the left front's already taken most of the abuse already. This car feels so solid through here. I mean, right through here is Carousel. I mean, it's just feels very solid. Tire pressures look even more even than they were before. We'll do one more lap and see what they look like. Blew the whole lap right there. Trying to carry too much speed through there. Right.
Well, mate, this has been your personal best.
That's about what we ran in the race. 36.93. So we picked up a teeny bit. Tires are even better pressure-wise than they were before. I mean, they're all within a tenth of a 1/10 of a pound or psi compared to all the other ones. So they actually look really good. So I like that. Okay. I mean, again, see what the tires look like. You have 5 degrees between inner and outer here, and there, and look at it. Look at the wear. 2 nines all the way across. 3 degrees there and 3 degrees there. So I like that. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. That is definitely a lot better. Let's see what the tires. I don't see any graining anywhere. And they're still in the 2 nines. So I like that. Okay, so let's do the next adjustment. So this is pretty close. One thing I will do, because I like doing it here at Zandvoort, is I'm going to lower this even one more and one more. Because the left side, you got all those real long, all these left-hand turns, and the right side doesn't need as much negative camber, so I'm going to take just 1%, you know, kind of that dual setup, left and right. So we'll try that. See if we can get any a little bit more grip on the inside tires on those long right-hand turns. Electronics, it looks fine. Oh, I'm going to add. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll try it. We'll see. I'll try one on the ABS. So this is of course the same. So let's go to mechanical now. So let's try to see what we can do here. This I definitely don't like. But again, remember like I said, it was leaning. So let's add one more on the front sway bar. Trying to keep the car as flat as possible, which is a challenge with this BMW. It's just got so much frontal air, you know, a big front end on it. And it's a pretty good sized car. I mean, I'm really trying to keep the front as level as we can, so the aero works the best that it can. I'm going to go ahead and knock the brakes down just 1 point. See if we can get any more rear brake going. I'm going to increase the springs and the wheel rate in the front, which is springs, just 1 click. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go up on the bump stop rate on this left side, and the range, I'm going to make it a lot tighter. I'll leave the right side alone. And let's see here. Actually, let's try this. Let's go up on the left side and down on the right, and let's take a couple clicks out of the wheel rates on the rear. And let's take the bump stop range. Again, I'm going to have it a little bit more aggressive on the left. Let's just try that. Just very small adjustments. So let's start from the beginning. Okay, any roll bar, I did this again to help keep the front flat. I want it flat through these corners. I do not want it leaning on the left rear or left front. I keep saying rear. The left front and messing up our aero balance. So I just went up one. I did the brake bias a little bit more to the rear, trying to get a little bit more braking performance and also help the car rotate in certain instances. Those two corners that we talked about in second gear. Again, if I can get it to rotate a little faster, I can get through those turns, carry a little more corner speed. Wheel rate on the front, I just stiffen again, help keeping it flat. Now again, obviously the track's optimum. If the track's green or fast, you might be able to get away with it fast, but green, we probably have to go down. This is one of those things we'd probably have to go down on the wheel rate in the front, especially to get the grip, the front end of grip some more. But in these conditions, I was going to try to go up and get the bump stop right here to go up on this left front and the range 0, so it's a lot stiffer. On the rear, I want to soften the rear up again to get more grip on the back end, and also for the back end to stay not basically, how should I say this, not rotate, but I don't want it squatting. I want it to stay where it needs to stay, again, to keep the aero balance where it's supposed to be. But we soften the springs up, so that should help. Any bumps also, if we hit a bump, it should absorb it a lot easier and not upset the car. Any roll bar, I went up one on the any roll bar just because, again, I'm wanting the back end, which is, with this long wheelbase car, this and the Bentley have the longest wheelbase. So you're trying to get the car to rotate, speed it up, but not still be controllable. So we'll have to try that. Preload on the diff. Again, I just knock it down a teeny bit, just again to help it turn to the corners, but I don't want it to oversteer coming off it. So we'll have to try that. So I'm not going to touch anything else. We're just going to concentrate on this page and see how this goes. So I hope everybody's following along what my reasoning is. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So, I mean, that's the thing. That's why I say, sometimes depending upon if I'm just getting a real rough setup or if I'm really getting something that I need to have dialed in really good for the car, I can spend hours, hours and hours and hours. So setups, sometimes, that's why I say, remind me sometimes, because sometimes I just don't have the time to get to all the setups that everybody requests, and I try to get, and I forget later to do them another time, and then I forget about them. So just nothing wrong with just asking again. It's not a problem. I try to get to them, depending upon what's going on. And of course, a lot of it, people don't want a certain car. If I get, a lot of people like viewing it, I like to do that more often, obviously. And and the opposite's true. But, you know, in this channel, I mean, I like them all, and I really try to be, diverse and do a lot of different cars. And I like driving different stuff. You pick up different stuff from different cars, and you know, I know everybody has their favorites, just like I do, but I try to, you know, kind of hit all of them sometimes. You know, a little bit here and there. But you know, like if I don't do that, you know, and you're wanting to, you know, see a car that you haven't seen or something in a while, I mean, just like I say, just put in the comments below, and I'll be glad to see if I can work it in. Tires look good. I feel that grate on the brakes right there. I don't know why, but Timesy there. But you know, another bad thing is the stiffer spring is going to make the tire run hotter, so because it's going to slide so at times. So we got to see if that'll work or not, or we might need to go back to the softer spring or just try it and see if it's, you know, better performance, better wear. That's the negative of going. That's why I always try to lean on the softer side if I have a doubt, or if the times are almost basically identical or very little difference. Just for the fact that, let's say you start off with a track that's green or fast, but is optimum later. Well, I'd rather start off with something a little softer so it can work halfway decent with the other conditions and still work an optimum. So, yeah, you might be giving up a little bit, but you're going to gain a lot. On the other, you know, on the beginning. Tires don't look bad. Little power oversteer there. We're behind. Now I'm back to even. Ran a little wide there. See if we can do one more lap. Dang it. Well, we're about right on the same times. Hey, 36.83. Picked up a little bit. It really wasn't even the best lap. Tire still looks good. A little yellow, but it's nothing real bad. All right. So let's take a look at the tires. Yeah, I like that. Still looks even. Again, this gets the most wear. The tire pressures look right there. Actually, I don't mind even if it was a little bit more. Add a few more tenths. So I like the left sides to run a little more than the right, since we got these long right-hand turns. But let's look at see if they're no graining at all. So I like that. That's what I want. So let's drop this another point, and let's go back to the other spring in the front. Let's go back down and raise this back up in the front. So I increased the 100 pounds on the bump stop rate, maybe to make up for the wheel rate. So that's it. Let's just try that and the brake bias. So we're not going to change anything else. We're just going to change the wheel rate down, get a little bit more grip on the front, and maybe a little bit less tire heat also, hopefully. So let's look at that last video. So we've already done 17 laps. I like that. The tire's not locked now, trying to lock up. So I do like that. Again, if I don't care qualifying, but when you're in a race, I don't want that left front, which already takes all the abuse, to get flat spotted or messed up. Looks good through there. Looks like I could rotate a little more through there. See, it still looks like it's leaning some on that left front going through there. It's not real bad. Look at it. See, look at that. Look at the right. Now the right, it's doing it on the right front. Which I'm not too concerned about that because that tire don't get that much wear anyway. But the left front I am concerned about. The longer we can do better with that tire, I think the more consistent the car will be. There's plenty of places I can improve. Not terrible through there, but you can see it leaning a little bit. We still ran a 3680 something, so that's not bad, really. You know, and I want the car also, you know, I'm trying not just to improve upon everything, but also, you know, if the car is so edgy that you feel like you're going to wreck at any time, most likely you will. I mean, you know, me included. So, you know, it's nice to be, you know, to gain time, but also you want it to where you can do it lap after lap and feel like you're not on the razor's edge at every corner. And I really think that this is working really good. So this is, you know, you could fine tune and find maybe a little bit more, but I know that's pretty decent. You know, mechanical wise, again, I went down a point here on the brake bias, and we went down one click on the wheel rate, the springs in the front, back to what it was on the aggressive, and just increase the bump stop rate a little bit. So let's try that before we do anything else. Just wanted to go back over it again to make sure everybody remembers. Let's see if there is anything to be had. You know, bad thing about the rear brake is, if, you know, I don't mind adjusting it during the race, but what you don't want is then the back end sliding. You know, you come into the corner like this, and you hit the brake, and then the back end just slides out. So the back end just slides, and you're trying to catch it, and you just blow all your time. So you don't want that. That's why I'm not real big on all the back brake, you know, pretty much your main tool to rotate the car. To me, it's the tool that you adjust it, fine-tune adjust it, not the main tool. Because there's too many turns, you're not going to use it in. I mean, you're not going to use it in this turn. So how's that, you know, brake, you know, using the brake is not going to help it. I mean, I don't want to hit the brake going through here. I'm on my momentum. So, I mean, you know, that's why to me it only helps in the the turns that like this, you know, that you're trail braking going into the turn. All right, picked up some.
personal fastest lap.
All right. Tire's still good. Oh, dang it. I lost it. Tire looks good. Left front's just a little yellow. That's not bad. And we're going faster. Okay. And my wheel locked up again. All right. Don't come off. There. Now it's working. It's doing it again. I think I need to put some grease on that thing. Decided it didn't want to shift. Okay. Yeah, I need to put some grease on it or something. It's sticking on this thing. I'm going to have to go get some. I got some electrical, contact grease type stuff. I need to stick that on here. Because this is probably not good at its. Yeah, it's. There we go. Let's see if it's. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Just trying to see if we can. I ain't had an issue with the wheel at all. Yeah, I need to go get some. I got some somewhere, so I'll have to get some after this video. Put some of that electrical contact grease on there. I need to put some more on there to. The thing was almost stuck. It didn't even want to come off. Didn't even want to come off the base there. Okay. Tell my wife I need to get a new steering wheel. She's not going to want to hear that. So we were doing pretty good. Let's look at the timetables. Also, let's look at see if the tires looking good. Tires look fine. No graining. Timetables. Yeah, I kind of blew that last one. Look at that. That's 3 or 4 tenths right there. I would have been right probably in the 40s. 32.16 compared to 31.77. That's 3 tenths. So, yeah. So I probably been in a 40. If I ran that, I would have probably been a high 40, something just a little bit different. But that's still good. We've already picked up about 4 tenths from a 36.90 something to a 36.51. So it's 19 laps. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm real happy with that. Let's see what else we have. I'm just going to go about there. I'm going to go half a point on this brake bias. Again, try to get some more. And I guess it did help going down on the spring in the front. So I want to look at that video to see. Let's look at dampers. Dampers or shock absorbers, however we want to call it. The bump here in the front. You know, again, I'm trying to. There's a couple places that it's critical that it takes the bumps really good. One is that tight chicane. If you go over the bump there, if you hit the curbs a little bit, and when you go over that curb, after you go down through the carousel and you have the right-hand turn, you hit that bump. You don't want it to upset the car to where you end up losing control because you run over that. So the front, I'm going to knock this down 3. And a little bit, same thing with the rebound, fast bump and the fast rebound. I'm going to do that on those. The bump here. Yeah, just go down 1. Go down 2 on the fast bump. Rebound, I'm actually going to go up 1 or 2, actually 2. And the fast rebound, I'll just go down 1. I want the rebound, which is pushing the tire to the ground. I want the rebound to keep the tire on the ground. So that's why you hit a bump. I want the tire to go back to the ground as fast as it can so it doesn't lose control. Always want the tire making contact with the ground. But the fast rebound, which can upset the car, I take a little bit of that out. And of course the bump, the initial hit of the car, I want to take a little bit of that out. Let's try that. Let's see if it makes any difference. We're still at negative 0.8, so that's really not much different than it was before. But look how much faster we're going. And this hasn't really changed. So let's do this. Let's look at the fast lap. So I want to look and see how the car's attitude is. Now remember, we went to a softer spring in the front. Not as, so that should, make the car, if anything, lean more, but we countered it with the bump stop rate to increase it. Especially, we can individually, just do that on the one corner. I don't mind it leaning there because that's a slower corner. I don't care if it leans there. What I look at more, where the arrow is taking more of advantage, is these higher speed stuff where you want the car, the arrow's more dramatic. You got, mechanical grip and you have aero grip. It's not too bad. You got a lot of force on the car there. This is the bump I was talking about right here. Boom, that bump. You know, I've had that where it's unsettled the car and either wrecked me or messed my whole lap up. That's the other bump right there. You hit that sometimes, maybe more than you want to. You know, I want the car to be able to, you know, to take the bump, or you hit that bump also. And that bump, that's just pretty smooth, but okay. So let's go back to the garage, and again, I'm going to go up one more, especially on the left front. We'll see where our limit is as far as if it overheats or if it doesn't handle right. But that left front has got such a load on it. Of course, as the tires wear down, you have less cushion too, because the tire is getting more and more wore down. So as you get near the end of a race, a long race, it's probably going to ride even rougher because a lot of the tire is gone. You know, just like your street car, that you have tread, you know, new tires, and they ride the best because they're brand new. And you got all this tread that has some cushion to it, but then, you know, you have the tire that's, you know, a year old or a couple years old, and it's almost gone. It rides like a stone. Too deep in there. If I can square it off. It didn't work that good. Take that a little wider. If I get some extra money, I'd like to get me a whole nother setup, really. I'd get me a direct drive wheel. DD1 or something. Probably a DD1. Let's use this as a backup. This is what I'd like to do anyway. You've got to be able to go through there wide open, or you're going to get killed. see, it's just not working through there. I might have to take it a gear lower. It's just not gonna rotate enough. Yeah, I just need to be a little wider so I can go through there a little bit better. Yeah, it seems like it hits the bump okay. Yeah, I just have to take it in second. Oh, that's way too deep. That's better. Through here, that's just about right. Not a tenth off, but still not a bad time. Looks like I need to do some tire adjustments on the tires here. I need to do some pressure adjustments. They're getting kind of on the high, a little bit on the high side. Just go down a couple tenths. This one's I need to go down more than that because I need to go about a half a pound. Because I want these to run a little lower. So I'll go down there and just try that out. Okay, so we're at negative 0.8. Car still needs to rotate a little more. Let's go back over. Let's look at that last video. Done 24 laps. Okay, we want to be hitting the brakes right past that. So that's right. I'm usually hitting them right past that marker back there. So as soon as I get past it, I hit it. And you see I'm on the brakes. All the way down to first. A little wide. I need to cut it back, come back in. But and of course I downshift to second. Hug the curb. on the brake, just tap the brakes. I want to be on brakes early and coast in, because if you brake going in, you're going to lock up that left front. So you want to be on the brakes a little early here. Not brake going into the corner if you can if you have to, because you'll lock it up. I went wide, brought it back in, just kind of like a double apex type thing. Go as wide as you can coming up to here, and as soon as you get past that orange on the left right there, I'm going to be, see, I'm already getting on the brakes right now. So let's go back. So you're going to go back. As soon as you get up to that orange on the fence, hit the brakes, downshift twice. See the left rear lock up a little bit. You saw the black mark? See, that's why I like looking at this. Again, downshift again. Again, it's just a downshift 1, and you're going to aim for that curb right here. Of course, you don't want to hit the other part, the bigger part here, but, I mean, you still want to cut that in. And then right there, when I'm coming up to that, usually, before I get to it, I'm on the brakes. If you go up to it, you're going to go in deep, unless you got, unless you can really stop fast. That's easy corner to blow. I see so many people make mistakes. And then hug the curb right there, which is just right. That's a rough curb, so you really don't want to hit it hard, but if you just touch it a little is okay. Then you can run it as wide as you need to. Come up to here. I hang out in the center. Sometimes I used to go out wider here, but I don't anymore, because it's just, you're going to open the inside for somebody to dive on the inside of you, and it doesn't really gain any time. So you just stay right here in the middle, and again try to hug that curb, and then drive. Even if you hit that, that's fine on the curb on the outside. And then when you come up to this curb there on the left, I hit the brakes right past that, between the line and this curb. On the brakes again. So let's try that again. There's a line right there. Now right or there. That's it. Go down to first. I try to get on the gas to rotate the car some going through there. Do that little carousel thing there. Then I downshift again. And again, you're coming up to this orange mark on the right on the fence up here. Right past it as I hit the brakes. Right there, see? So as soon as I know I passed it, I'm on the brake. Just hit the brakes real quick. Downshift. Go over the curb a little bit. And then go wide. And then come across to where you're hugging this curb on the inside. But that's dangerous, because certain cars, you can catch it and it'll wreck you. So you just got to be careful of that. You got to be wide open all the way. You lift a teeny bit, it's not so bad, but you can't lift dramatically. You need to be wide open all the way through there, so you can get as maximum speed all the way down here. Otherwise, somebody drafting off of you, they'll get the run, and they'll outbrake you going into turn 1. Or you can be defensive, but then they'll try to go around the outside of you. So it's just, which I've had that happen too. So either way. So let's see what we got. Dampers. That wasn't too bad. I might go a couple more on the rebound on the rear. Trying to smoothen it out. One more down in the front on the front end. That's pretty decent. We'll try that. Aero. Okay, well, we can't do much with the front unless we want to raise it, and I really don't want to do that. If it doesn't hit anything, I'd rather have the front as low to the ground as you can get. Same thing with this, the wing. See, this is the problem with the wing. If I take a lot of wing out, then you're going to have to basically rebalance the car as far as your braking, because what will happen is you'll lock up the back brake even more. The car will slide more because you don't have the downforce on the back of the car. So you got to be careful on these adjustments. That's why a lot of times I do these on first, but I don't really want to vary too much from this anyway, because the car feels very raceable and very stable. Again, this is more a fine adjustments. So what I was thinking of trying is we're going to just take one out of the wing. And especially this, it only goes to 7. So it had 6. We're going to take one out, and we're going to take one. We'll take one out of the ride height. So now we're down to negative 0.3. So we've added more aero on the front of the car. So the car should rotate faster. Okay, not a huge amount, but again, a small amount. So let's try that and see what we got. That feels good. It hit that pretty good as far as taking the bump. Again, with the left front tire, I don't mind it being a little yellow, especially if it goes from a little yellow back to green, back to a little yellow. You know, it goes back and forth depending upon where you're at on the track. That's not bad at all. It doesn't, you know, it's not going to affect the grip. I got, you know, these Pirellis have a wide range of grip, so it's not gonna. You just don't want it. It doesn't, you know, affect it until it really starts getting hot. I can hear the right rear lock up. So I might have to go back on the back brake, which I will probably do on this next straightaway. I'll just go back up a half or so. Because I don't want the tire to be, you know, it ends up causing more problems than it's worth. Time. Oh shoot, I forgot to do the brake adjustment. There we go. Go back up to 59. Tire looks good. not rotating the way I want to. So I don't like it. So let's try something different. Don't like that. So let's put that back. I'm going to leave the ride height down though. Now we're down at negative 1.1. So we got a little bit more. We took off the front and put on the back. So let's see if that works or not. See, we have a couple different things we could do. We got ride height to the rear that we can jack up to get it to turn better. Let's try that. So I'm going to go up. I'll leave the brake bias where it's at, but we're going to go down on the anti-roll bar. So I'm going to go back down on the anti-roll bar to keep the back end behind the front. But I want to, on the slow turns, I'm hoping that with this it'll help the car rotate. And of course I put the wing back into the car. So now we're negative 0.3 again. So it's a different way of doing it. Instead of taking the wing out, we're putting the wing in it and raising the rear end up a little bit. So let's try that. Again, small adjustments, nothing drastic. But if I could get just to rotate a teeny bit better and be under control, we might be able to get another, maybe another tenth, get it down into, get it into the 3640s. Only if it's stable doing it. I mean, I don't want to sacrifice that to make the car to where you're about ready to wreck it every lap. So I'm trying to keep the car in wear and tear on the tires and all that kind of stuff in check. Yeah, see, it rotates pretty good. And that's what I want. So I can try to carry a little bit more corner speed through some of these corners. Ah, see, it's sliding. Ooh, don't like that. Don't like that. Let's try another lap. Tires fully up to temperature here. Didn't turn in enough. Whoa. Just caught that curb. That's all, just that teeny bit. It's rotating pretty good. Middle of the turn, it's rotating really nice. Ah, I hit that curb. Cost me a little bit of time. See if we can do one more lap. Tire looks good though. Front tire is just a teeny bit yellow. Too deep. Still in the 50s. We're kind of stuck in the 50s here. Still no graining, so that's what I want to see. No graining or anything, so that's really good. Okay, there's got one other choice that we can make here. Leave this alone. Put this back to 63. So actually, it's more than what it was at 0.7 or 0.8, negative 0.7 or 0.8. Now it's 1.0. Actually, we can go a little less than that. That will help top speed. But let's go now, do mechanical, and raise this anti-roll bar up to. We had it at 5. Let's go up to 6 and see if that'll help the car turn. Maybe it'll turn better that way than the other way, but only way to find out. And after this, we should know what we got. Should go either way. I hope I'm communicating everything all right. I like that. Feels good right through there. The rear sway bar is just like raising the rear end as far as it can make the car slide going through the corners, and that's what I don't want. You know, like right through here, or that downhill carousel. not just making this corner flat out. It needs to be as free as possible, where you're not just cranking more and more steering in it, you know, dragging it down going through the corner. So it's not just, you know, it needs to be flat out plus as free as it can be. That way it keeps the speed up through the corner going onto the straightaway. Because if your car is understeering and you just crank more and more steering into it and scrub speed off, then you're not, you know, one, you're just going to overheat the tires, and two, you're still going to lose speed going onto that front straightaway. Whoa. Tire still looks good. I mean, I don't see it messed up. I like to feel this way better, actually, than the other way. I don't know if it's faster, but the car feels more stable. Good burn out there. Good slide. Do one more lap. And I like this too because I can be more aggressive with the rear brake than I can the other way. Corner blows everything. Still on a good lap though. The other way was faster though. At least it seems like it. Excuse me, get a drink. Okay, let's see. Well, I guess we'll go the other way. I could do with the diff too. Car's not coming up the corners oversteering, so let's just take a little bit more out of the diff, maybe help the rear end, help it rotate a little bit instead of fighting it. So let's try that. Let's try that, see how that works. Always something to try. All right, this will be the last one. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Let's see how we, we got a little bit of time out of the BMW. Got about 4/10, actually a little over 4/10, but that's not bad. Definitely rotating pretty quick, but that's what we need. Carousel is what I'm concerned about, because the car needs to be stable going through here. Trick corner, so tricky. Good time. All right, let's take a look at the tires. Still no graining, so that's a good thing. 6 pounds or 6 degrees there, 5 degrees there, so that's really good. 3 here and 3 there, so that's not bad. I mean, tires are still holding up very well. Everything looks pretty good. I think I'll leave it here at that. I mean, I'm still not positive with this diff. I don't want to be too aggressive with it as far either direction and ends up messing stuff up. So I mean, I might add just 1/10, just go back to 100 and that's it. And then the arrow, I was thinking about just going up one more. That's it. But I don't know. Let's just make a few laps at that way. I want to make sure it's good. Again, this is what takes a long time. It's small little changes. Sometimes you do this, and between all the other things that you've done, all of a sudden, next thing you know, you gain, you know, a couple tenths or something. So it really makes, sometimes it makes, you know, big differences. And sometimes you find out that you went the wrong way. So it's just, you know, I hate to go this far and not feel good about which way we're going. I needed to go through here good. Be stable. Definitely through here. A lot of people had the problems going through here. See, it's still not rotating the way I want to, but I can't get it to go much faster, or it just becomes uncontrollable. You end up sliding everywhere. Working that good. don't like setting cars up to have the rear ends up in the air as least as possible. Sometimes you have to, but I mean, the least amount I can put it up there, I do, just for as far as, you know, balance of the car, weight balance, and, you know, of course you got the wings sticking up there, just adds more drag. Yeah, that's no good. Don't like it. Think I'm gonna go the other way. It might be a teeny bit slower, but in the long run it might be faster. So I think I'm gonna go the other way. There. I'm gonna do that instead. See if that'll work. So let's try that. So I think we'll go ahead and go to the race. And oh, I know one thing I wanted to try. I wanted to try a heavier fuel load. Let's just try that for kicks and giggles. Let's go up to 90 liters. And let's go ahead and make us a setup. And this is how I do it. I mean, I put Sky, just so you guys know, if you download the link. And then I usually put, you know, what it is. BMW. Sometimes I do it the opposite. I put the track. Or the abbreviation, either way. And then at the end, I put the track condition. So OP means optimum. GR means green. You know, FA would be fast, of course, or wet would be wet. So actually I messed up because I usually put 1 in there too. So let's do this again. I'll put 1 because in case we come up with a different setup, then I'd put 2. And then OP. Okay. So that's a setup. Let's try it with a heavy fuel load. This is about what it would be with in the multiplayer. Maybe, you know, because you don't know, it might change the tires as far as overheating them, more weight. You got double the fuel load that we had. See how much it slows down. Just do a few laps, see what it looks like, see what it feels like. So far, feels pretty good. Feels pretty composed. Really nice through there. That feels really good through there. Really good through here. One more lap, see what it feels like. Oh shoot, I forgot to downshift. Oh well. But we ran at 37.12, and that's just 80 something, just barely under 90 liters. So that's really good. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. So I'm happy with that. It feels good. What we can do also, let's see if it changes anything here. Let's add it. That's okay. I just maxed out the brake ducts on the front just to keep the front end, the front tire cool. So let's put my fuel back so we can get ready for this race. Let's see what we can do. How many did we do? We did 40 laps. So let's go to a race and see what we can do here. A short race. Same one that we had before. Everything's the same. All right, here we start in 10th, just like we did the last week. I got a BMW in front of me, and next to me actually. So there we go. So let's get this party started and see what we can. Let me put better load that in. Okay, got our setup in there.
Stay in double file.
See if we can get through this without wrecking. Adjusted my seating position too. Before last weekend, I kind of raised myself up as a teeny bit. I think I can judge it a little bit better, just a little bit. But amazing how little adjustments like that will help you be able to judge, the car, judge where the car is at.
Green light, go, go, go. Car on the left, clear on the left.
Dang it. I gotta work back, get back on his tail again.
Well done, mate. Personal best.
Also, if you have any suggestions for my championship, you know, what kind and what car to use, I appreciate it. Any feedback would be helpful. Dang it. You know, it's telling me I need this to be a teeny, about a half a car length wider. That's the problem. Because it's making me, oh, he's gonna hit me.
Car on the left.
Don't kill me.
Clear on the left.
It's making me come off that turn too wide. That's what it is.
Well done, mate. Your fastest lap so far.
Terrible times. So you never know. Oh, this track feels like it's slick or
Car on
something.
the right. Clear on the right.
Grief.
Car on the left.
Feels like I'm sliding all over the place.
Clear on the left. Well done, mate. This has been your personal best. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Tires look perfect. Not even getting hot at all.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap. We are halfway through, not over yet. Gaining on the car ahead is up to 3. Well done, mate. Personal best.
All right. A little better.
Car on the left. Well done, mate. This has been your personal best. Clear on the left.
Car looks fine. Not even barely turning yellow. I love those Bentleys. I want to do another race with that. Man, Ferrari almost got in there. That would have been bad. It feels so good right through here. That's really important for confidence. Setting these turns up. Tire looks great. Tires look perfect. Too deep. Too deep again. I'm fighting off the Ferrari. Of course, you know, same AI is at 97 and Gresham is 96, so same thing.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push. Losing time to the car in front in sector 2.
Wide again. Yeah, it needs a little bit more. I think it needs a little bit more at the rear end diff. So wanting to oversteer a little bit. Coming out the corner, so it probably does need a little bit more.
Finish the race. Alright, checkered flag. Good job. You did the best you could. Now bring the car back.
Alright. Finished 7th. With a lot of mistakes by me, not the car. And still came back and finished 7th. I think I could have done a lot better if I would have just had a better beginning. Overall, I'm really happy with it. I think it was a good... Oh, I think it was a good setup. I just needed better driving. I won't go to that either. See, that's the thing I don't like. It used to go back to the setup, but now it's not going back to that setup. So we'll go back to it. Fastest was a 136.88. So I mean, it's a few tenths off of what we had before. There's 2 tenths right here. So there's a 36.60 right there, just between those. So I mean, it's just me driving. A lot of bad laps just because of me. The car is there. Let's go ahead and go back to the setup. And here we go. Just for everybody that wants the one last time, it's 25 on the left front, 26 on the left rear, 26.5 on the right front, and 26.5 on the right rear. The tow is at negative 0.05, and the camber is at negative 3.5 on the left and negative 3.4 on the right. The caster is 12.5 on the front, and the rear, the tow is 0.1. And on the camber, on the left rear is negative 2.5, and on the right rear is negative 2.4. Electronics are 2 and 4. Fuel, I had 45 liters with number 1 brake pads. 7 on the any roll bar. 58.9 on the brake bias, all the way down to steering ratio. Wheel rate's 156,000, or the wheel rate, or springs for the front. The bump stop rate is 1,400 for the left front and 1,200 for the right front, and a 0 bump stop range. And on the rear, the wheel rate is 126,000 with a bump stop rate of 800 and a bump stop on the left and a bump stop rate of 600 on the right rear. The bump stop range is 2 on the left rear and 4 on the right rear. Any roll bar is 6 with the preload on the diff at 120. I'm gonna put that up at 120 because it was coming off the turns. It just wasn't doing it. Dampers on the front are 23, 17, 26, and 21, and on the rear 19, 13, 22, and 17. Aero, we have it all the way down on the front at 52 and 62 on the rear as far as ride height. Rear wing is 6. And the brake ducts are 6 and 4. And the front aero variation is negative 1.1. So that is this setup. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, comments or feedback would be greatly appreciated if you like this or not. If you want me to do anything in the future similar to this, I do appreciate it because I really judge a lot off of what I do, off of what everybody likes or dislikes. Love that livery. That's such a good looking car. But anyway, I sure appreciate it. I hope you stayed with me. I hope I communicated it okay to what I was trying to accomplish. And, we gained, right around 4 tenths to mid 36s, and the left front tire is not hot. So, and there's no graining, where before at the other one, you just do like 4 or 5 laps and it was already starting to grain on the rear. So we have no graining, and the tire is cooler, and we're faster. So I call it not a major win, but it's a win. I would have liked to pick up maybe another couple more tenths. But, you do what you can do. And hopefully all will try it and let me know how it goes. And I sure hope you come back and visit again. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe and all the YouTube stuff. And to support the channel. It means a lot. And we'll see you all the next time.